What up, what up, what up, what up? This is Vinyl You Need. And this is the first episode of this particular series. And this is where I talk about classic albums, classic vinyl you need to have for your collection, because it's all about quality and not quantity. It's all about the greatest size instead of the greatest songs. Some albums you buy, you might run into one song. Some albums you buy, you might run into 7 out of 10 songs are dope. Some albums you buy, all songs are dope. So I'm here to tell you what albums I think you need to have for your collection. And if you follow me enough, and if you subscribe down below, you'll be able to follow my journey, because I do have a lot of vinyl to go through. And so you'll be having a lot of selections coming over the next couple of weeks and the next couple of months. But slowly but surely as we go, the first one that we got here today is N.E.R.D, In Search Of. Now, this is an album I bought probably about 4 or 5 months after its official release in 2001. I bought it around about Christmas time, because I remember going to the outlet malls, and this was like right after Christmas, and I was me, my mom, and my sister typically back then would go to the outlet malls back around 2001, because you would find stuff on sale right after Christmas, so you can go in, get something for cheap that somebody would particularly buy for a gift, but it would be 25% off, 30% off, because it's almost like a end of the year sale. But we will already have our gifts, but we would do that also too. Now, I'm not saying we were rich, but we would probably, get like half of our gifts as our normal regular stuff we get, and then splurge and stuff on our clothes and extra stuff we wanted. So I ran into a particular music store here in Georgia at an outlet mall, and I bought N.E.R.D. I remember seeing it on the shelf, and I remember seeing Shay on the front, and I'm like, N.E.R.D? I'm like, oh yeah, that's for reals. That's for reals group. And I remember seeing the video for Lap Dance, but I just never got the album. I never just saw the album or just went and sought out for it. So I bought it at that moment. Rocked out to it probably about a good 6 months later, because this was probably about June, July. I ran into For Real in Lenox Mall. God is my witness. God is my witness. Swear to God. Ran into him in Lenox Mall and got to give him his flowers on the album, but I ain't really try to give him his album. I did it kind of inadvertently, really. I was almost just like, yo, I ain't even gonna lie. My first listen to it was, I didn't know what to expect. I thought y'all was gonna be on some hip hop shit, and it really wasn't. It was on some real, like, this is the best moment you would ever see For Real in, and Shay in, and Chad in their prime. I think this is the golden years of the Neptunes. This is what the Neptunes, out of all of their production, as far as what they do, this particular project is kind of a snapshot in a wonderful time of all of everything that they shared out to the world outside of that and after that. Even up until now with For Real with Louis Vuitton comes from the imagination and the thought process of actually doing this particular project. But let me get to the cred of the album and tell you about the album. Of course, Lap Dance is dope. You know what I'm saying? Of course, Things Are Getting Better is dope. You know what I'm saying? I wish they would have had Run to the Sun, like the actual Spy Mob version, but that's another conversation. But by the time you get to the B side, and then you get to the C side with Run to the Sun, when I tell you this album is undefeated, if you want to just put something on and just rock out to, on some, like, you just want to jam out to, and it's maybe like y'all at the swimming pool, or y'all are just chilling, some friends are coming over, you can rock out to this whole album. There's no part of this album you will really kind of feel kind of, like I say, like really ashamed of, or trying to pull the needle up. You would let it play all the way through. And it's so classic of that time of 2001, 2002, the beginning when everybody was starting to be experimental, the Andre 3000s, you know what I'm saying? The, who else? It was a lot of other people, CeeLo. The different people was trying to branch out and do things experimentally to kind of push the hip hop, you know what I'm saying, creative landscape, but maybe do a little rock, maybe do a little funk, maybe do a little, you know what I'm saying, disco, maybe do a little dance, maybe do a little bit of everything, but mixing it in their own way, in their own light. This is what this album represents for what these group of guys done in their time. For real, Shay, and last but not least, the mad scientist Chad Hugo, because he is one of the probably the big glues of the big, like I would say, he's the glue to the project. He glues the ideas that For Real has with the real instruments, and just having that whole backdrop of Spy Mob. This is an album where one of the only albums they did a full collaboration with Spy Mob, which is, if you've ever seen them back in the day perform in person, Spy Mob is one of them bands where the sound of them in person feels surreal. So listening to this album, it's surreal. For real on the sound writing and the ideas, Chad keeping the glue together, Spy Mob picking up the backdrop and being the rock and roll orchestra, and Shay coming in with keeping things together as far as an executive producer standpoint and ideas, and him pitching in on lyrics and everything. Hey, A+, A1. This is one you need to have in your collection. I'm not gonna bore you. I'm out. This your boy Maximus. Peace.